Here we go. Okay, you guys have probably already received this news, but we're going to talk about it a little bit for everybody and say how that will affect our class, obviously. But as of fairly early this afternoon, the Commissioner of Higher Education has decreed that as of March 23rd, which should be the day we would normally be returning from spring break, will in every instance possible transition all in-class instruction to online or other remote teaching modalities. In our case, online will be sufficient. Okay. Individual departments, colleges, universities should provide la da 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 da. Okay. I would imagine that most of you have internet access at home and or wherever you're going to be, I guess, where you would be able to receive the stuff, and we've got half a dozen students that are taking this online as it is right now. So from my standpoint, it's not going to really change a heck of a lot other than I'm not going to get to see your smiling faces twice a week. So yeah, that'll be a bit of a bummer, but okay. The campuses themselves will remain open, it says, and operational for students. See, every time now somebody sneezes, we get a little nervous, don't we?
It's just allergies.
Okay. You know, I sneeze once a day, just kind of regardless. I don't even know why, but it seems like once a day I got to let out a good sneeze. Anyhow, so they're going to remain open. So if people are planning to stick around, that's fine. I would imagine that all MSU, where is it? Employees will continue to report to work unless otherwise instructed, or otherwise, or work from home accommodations are developed in individual cases. So I imagine they still expect us as instructors to show up. So I will probably be here at least during my office hours, and then some I'll be here recording little videos for you guys, you know, and walking you through some things. Okay, so that'll happen. Or if something happens where I would not come to work, I'll send out an email. You guys, my office phone number is on the syllabus, so you guys all have access to that. But if something happened and I couldn't come up here or didn't want to because whatever, I would send out even my home phone number if need be, so that we could contact. I'm in the phone book anyhow, so it's not like that would be a big secret. If you wanted to look up my number, it's in the white pages. So that's fine. Typically, we wouldn't need that type of contact, but you know, there could be. This is an unusual situation, and so unusual things could come up, right? We need to monitor, and that includes all students. Okay, got to monitor your official campus email. That's what I have, is your guys' campus email, right? I don't have your home. I can look up, I think, your personal or preferred emails. If you don't like where your emails are coming to, like if you don't check your Brightspace email, make sure you forward that to whatever email you prefer. Okay, you can go right in the settings and you can have that. I never, ever, ever look at my email inside of Brightspace. I shouldn't say never, ever, but almost never, ever. The only time I do is if I want to see if I sent something out that I might have forgot, because everything's just forwarded to my campus email. And so when I get here in the morning, if you guys have sent me an email through Brightspace, it's in my campus email, and I don't even worry about looking at my email through Brightspace. So that'd be my advice to you, is set that up so that that email comes, those Brightspace emails come to wherever you prefer. Okay. If you need some help setting that up, just let me know. It's just a couple clicks. It's not too terribly difficult. So that's kind of that. Anybody got questions about that? How the class will proceed? I will plan to do something similar to what we're doing. I'll come in a couple times a week, probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll try to stay consistent. Record a little video, you know, that's just for that week. I will probably put a little attendance quiz in each video, okay, that will I'll expect you guys to watch, you know, what I'm sending out, because going forward, there could be all kinds of information that I might include in these little videos. I will try not to make them lengthy.
Are those
And
videos going to be of
Yeah, they'll be, yeah, you won't have to join me when I do it. They'll be asynchronous. Okay, I'll do them on BB Flashback and post them to YouTube is where they get posted. And so what you'll get is a link to YouTube, basically, to that particular video on YouTube.
So
I-
do we have to go through Brightspace for the quiz or no?
No,
Oh,
well, other than, I may set up, I'll see, should I set up a Dropbox for each quiz? That might be easier than having you guys email me. So I might kind of set up a little.
You could just set the quiz up in Brightspace.
Yeah, I can do that too, and then just it'll automatically grade actually. So I can do that too, and then yeah. But well, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, and the reason for that is then you can take the quiz without watching the video.
yeah, but how would you get a good grade without watching the video?
Well, yeah.
You could,
Yeah, I mean, because I don't intend to make these difficult. You know, I just want to make sure, it's just going to be something a little different every day, kind of like I do in here otherwise, right? Just make it something that
Well, we should say like, oh, there's like a code wording video and we have to watch it to.
it'll be something like that, it's going to be, what day is today, or something, I don't intend to make them difficult, so, I'll probably just set it up where there'll be an assignment Dropbox, and you guys can go into those assignments and just type in an answer there. It doesn't have to be a Word doc or anything, right? So, and they'll be short answers. It's not going to be, and they're not going to be 4 or 5 questions. It maybe 1 or 2 probably at the most. So, I'll probably just set up a little individual Dropbox. You guys can drop your stuff in there, right? And that way I'll know. And this will apply to everybody, even those of you that are listening to this that have been taking this online. It'll just kind of be a little make sure I know that you're kind of watching these things. So, for whatever reason, and like I said, typically they're going to be short. These are going to be 5 or 10 minutes. We're in the management and organization. After today, I will have given you most of the information you need for that. Right, and so I'll just give you short little updates and some things, reminders, until we get to the next segment, which should be business description, I believe. I'll spend a day, maybe 2 days, giving you a little lengthier description about what you need to do for that particular part. So, okay, and then we'll have to see on the presentations. Okay, obviously this could screw up finals week. I don't know. We may be back in class in 3 or 4 weeks. I have no idea. If I were a betting man, I'd bet that this is it for the semester. I don't. If we get 2 or 3 weeks past spring break,
finals week almost.
yeah, I don't. We got 6 weeks total after spring break left of school, and if you're 3 weeks in, I can't imagine, even if things are starting to get better, that they're going to send out a note and say, "Hey, everybody, get on your bikes and get back to school." I'm just. Hmm?
Is it really not bad?
I think that the fear and the spread of fear because of the media that we have nowadays is far worse than the actual
I think Walmart
disease.
told all their employees that you don't have to come to work until after they get paid. So,
No.
No. Wait, so the Walmart's just gonna close down? So do all the
basically,
professors
it
have to
was,
do
it was
this?
one of them deals.
Question is, do all the
If you get a confirmed diagnosis, you get
I had a question here, and it is, do all the professors have to do this? And I'll reread number 1. It says, will, in every instance possible, transition all in-class instruction to online. So for us business professors, for most of us, I teach every one of these classes, both online and face-to-face. For me, it's flipping a switch. I mean, this is a piece of cake, and I know that's the case for Lanny. I'm sure that's the case for Chris, and it obviously is for Kevin Carlson, because he teaches them all like that anyhow. So this is going to be really simple if all you have is business classes. You get into some of the others, and I know some of you are taking other majors or minors. It could differ a little bit. I worry mostly about the classes that have labs. That's going to be the tough part. I think is some of those labs are going to need nursing. And I don't have any nursing students in here, but nursing is going to be really difficult. I don't know that they could continue on just with online if they have some lab classes. Certainly, they'll still do those classes online that they can, right, to minimize contact. But I'm guessing that they'll still have their labs and stuff. So, and that's why you get this one that says, all MSU campuses will remain open and operational, because there's probably going to still be a limited quantity of students running around, right? Just guessing. Okay. So yeah, this class will work that way. I'll send you out little things. I'll figure that out, and you guys will get it. Be very good about communicating via email. Sorry, I don't do texting, but you can use your phone to text my email. I know that, and vice versa. Okay, because I get texts from my son to my email, because he can do that, and then I can send him back to his phone texts. I can send texts from the email. I kind of know how to do that, especially if you got Verizon. But if you send me a text to my email, then if I hit respond, it's just going to come back to you. That's fine. But emails are great. Okay, whether I'm here or at home, I check my emails several times a day. Okay, my work emails. Okay, be good about communicating. That's going to be a little tougher. That's always the toughest part, especially if you're not used to it. The communication part. We're all terrible about it. Yeah, and especially if I don't see you, and look you in the face, and I can get on you a little bit. I tend to put off some of those things. I should send you a little note that says, "Hey, get off your butt and get this in," or those types of things. So let's all make an effort. We got 6 weeks left after today, right? Let's all make an effort to try to communicate better and get those things back and forth. And again, phone calls are fine. Like I said, if I happen to be at home, I'll send everybody a note and say, "Hey, I'm at home. If you got to call me, call me." Oftentimes, just so you know, when I'm at home, of course, we got good old caller ID. So I probably wouldn't recognize your number, so you might have to leave a message and I'll call you back, type of thing. Okay, because we tend to filter our calls because we get so many of those damn robocalls and whatnot that it just drives me crazy. So we do tend to filter. Once I know your number, I might get a little bit better at answering if we have often communications, but I don't know that would happen. Again, we're 3/5 of the way through the semester. So we're well on our way. You've got the two major, most difficult, I think, portions of this done. Again, we'll worry about presentations. We'll kind of see what happens. In the past, I've had distance students do presentations just by doing the same thing that I do with the BB Flashback, the little videos that I send out to you. And there's a few different programs that you can use. One's BB Flashback, one's Screencast-O-Matic, which is really simple and you don't have to download anything. The limitation on that's 15 minutes, but I don't want you doing a presentation that's more than 15 minutes anyways, right? And you can show your screen like I do. When you see these videos, you're not going to see me at all. You can go, thank God, right? You're going to just see what I have on my screen, okay? And so you guys will be able to do that same thing. So if we don't get back to classes, we probably do some presentations like that. So just something to be thinking about between now and then, and maybe experiment a little bit. If you got a little time, just click on Screencast-O-Matic, and I'll probably send out a link, as we get closer to the end for that, and BB Flashback. WebEx, we got to set up. I think you can use WebEx through the college's license, but that one's a little bit more cumbersome. It's better. It's the one that we use if we want to have interactivity going on. But if you're just doing a video to send to me, probably one of those other choices would be better. Okay. I think that kind of covers where we're going to be going then after spring break. You guys got any questions about that? Seeing none, let's jump into then where we're at here. Other things that we're going to need for the management and organization section. Please refer back to this PowerPoint. It should be posted, I think. If it's not, I'll make sure when I'm done talking here, I'll check and make sure that it's posted. Because it's got a pretty good list of the things you need and a little bit of explanation maybe how to get there. And you'll always be able to go back. This video's posted. Every video I've done's posted. So you can always go back and re-listen to it if you need to, right? Okay. This part of your plan is going to be a lot of stuff that's going to end up in the appendix. So it's not going to take you a lot of writing. There will be some. You're still going to do a narrative about the stuff that's there. But a lot of this is just going to be stuff that's going to be in the appendix, right? So tax returns. If you were purchasing a tax, and this is more of a learning thing, a teaching moment, as opposed to something that's actually going to be in our plans, but if you were going to purchase somebody else's business Okay, always get the tax returns. Okay, trust me, when I was a banker, if somebody came in and they wanted to buy a business and said, I want to see that business's tax returns, you have no idea how many times people would come back and they'd have a financial statement prepared by the seller, but not the tax returns. And I would say, I'm just not interested. I can think of at least one case for sure where the person that had come to see me about the loan ended up purchasing the business anyhow from the seller. The seller, he gave him 50 grand down payment. The seller financed it. And of course, 6 months later, they were in court because the seller had lied about what the business prospects were. Okay, because he never did look at the tax returns. The buyer, I turned him down flat. I said, I'm not going to finance a business if I can't see the tax returns. If they're going to, if they're not going to show you what they're telling the IRS, I wouldn't trust them, as far as I could throw them. So anyhow, teaching moment. None of you guys are all coming up with new ideas. So that's that. Personal returns should be included. Okay. Especially true in the income of another, might be available. Again, kind of a teaching moment here. Now, that said, I don't want to really see a bunch of poor college students' tax returns, okay? But I want you to put a tax return in the appendix. So go to irs.gov, go to the Form 1040 or the 1040EZ. You'll be able to find it, okay? You can just Google it and you can probably find it. You can actually kind of fill it out online. Don't put your social security number on there. You can put 000-00-0000. That's fine. Okay, and put in some fake numbers. Okay, just do that. Humor me, because that would be required in a business plan. Your real ones would be required in a business plan. Okay, probably the past 3 years. Okay, that would be very typical. Now, again, if you're a poor college student, they may not look at the past 3 years. They may just want one or something, right? Okay. Personal financial statements. Okay, and I think I maybe have a template for that posted under templates in the content. I'm not sure. And that's just one idea. You can Google personal financial statements for Excel or something, and you probably find a million of them, right? And I don't really care the format. If I've got one in there, feel free to use that. It's adequate for sure. It should be fairly simple. I would have picked one that I would have found fairly simple. Okay, and the reason we do that, right? Guarantees are generally required. If you're going to finance a business, a brand new business, they're going to mandate that you personally guarantee it, no matter the entity. So if you have an LLC, right? Because the LLCs would limit liability. If Wiley's got an LLC and I lend Wiley, I don't lend Wiley the money. I lend the LLC money. Okay. If the LLC goes broke, I can't go after Wiley, right? I can only go after the LLC. If I have him personally guarantee it, however, then I can ask Wiley to pay me as well. So, leases, when applicable. So if you're building your own place, then you wouldn't have a lease, but otherwise you will have a lease. Now, most of you probably won't be able to get a lease from where you're planning to put your business, the lease itself, the paper document. I think I also have put in a blank lease that you can look at, fill in some blanks. There's not many, and you could submit that as a part of your appendix. That's fine. Okay, if you can get the lease, if you know where you're considering, and if the person, and I've had that happen several times, people have been able to actually get a copy of the lease that the landlord would use, then feel free to include that. Okay, and that was a constant. I mean, we always required that for businesses. We had a copy of the lease. We'd often take an assignment of the lease too. Franchise agreement, I don't think anybody here or distance has chosen any kind of a franchise, but if you did, we'd want a copy of the franchise agreement. Resumes, always. If you don't have a resume, now is your opportunity. I'm giving you this wonderful opportunity to get yours prepared. Most of you should be seniors anyhow, and you should, by golly, have an up-to-date resume. There's really no excuse, I don't care if you're a freshman or a senior, for not having a resume that's on your computer that you could update on a moment's notice if the right opportunity came around, right? You guys should. Okay, in my old days, when I was your age, we had to hand type everything. We didn't have computers that we could store crap on, so it was a little more difficult to come up with a resume. Okay, I've got my resume. I probably haven't updated it for 15 or 20 years because I don't intend to apply any place, right? But I've got it on computer. If I needed to update it, it wouldn't take me very long. Okay, so you guys have your resumes on there. Okay, we want to see. You would also include, if you've got somebody that's going to be an active partner, say, you would include their resume as well. Even if they weren't a financial investor. Okay, now the opposite's true too. If you got somebody that's an investor but they're not going to be actively involved in the business, I don't really need to see their resume then. Okay. Licenses. If your business requires a license, we'd want a copy of that. Now, name registration, it'll all do that for me, and I may have that form, I think, available too already, so you guys can download it. But everybody, if you wanted to submit, and you can do a search, and you should, okay, do a search from the Secretary of State to see if your name's already taken. If you want to be Acme, whatever, what's Wile E. Coyote got? I always get his stuff from Acme Products Inc. or something like that, it's probably already taken, right? So do a search. It shouldn't take you but 30 seconds. Okay.
What is this like?
Montana Secretary of State. Corey Stapleton. Okay. So you'll do a search just to make sure your name's not taken, and then you'll fill out this name registration. Like I said, I think I've got the form available for you guys to download. If not, you can find it at the Secretary of State's site really easy. There's a $15 charge, so don't send it in. Just put in the copy of what you would send in, okay? And tell me in the narrative that, hey, I did a search and this name was available, so da-da-da. Liquor license if you got it. Fuel permits if required, right? If you're going to sell fuel or whatever. Other professional licenses may be a little tough to come by when you're not, an attorney, but you could explain what it's going to take and those types of things. So, okay. So the management and organization plan, and this is where you're going to write some of this up, and you'll write some other stuff up too, but that's going to appear in the body. So this will be a part of the narrative. And what do I mean by that? How's the business going to run on a day-to-day basis? Some of you are pretty simple. Seth, you're on your own. I'm going to show up for work every day at 8 a.m. and work my butt off till 9. I wouldn't make it quite that simple, but how you going to operate, what your hours are going to be, are you going to be on call? How many days a week are you going to be on call? Those types of things. Who some of your support people are going to be. That could be parts places. That could be those types of things, right? Okay, and that goes for everybody. For more of you that have maybe more of a traditional retail type of a thing, gosh, what hours am I going to have extra employees over the lunch hour and over the dinner hour? How many employees? What are their duties going to be? What happens if I'm gone? Who's going to be in charge? What's it going to take for that person that's going to be in charge? Okay, on and on and on. Okay, you need to tell me those kinds of things, right? So employees should be quantified, right? How many? And what their assignments are. Who's going to be qualified to fill those roles? I will give you a source. It's called ONET, capital O, capital N-E-T. It's really an amazing source. Just Google it and you go to it, and it'll give you a list of qualifications for a bartender, for example. Did you know that they have to be mildly good at psychology, right? I mean, it goes through this whole list and a lot of things you wouldn't think of, but things that if you were going to do up a job, put out a job, if people do apply, it's something that would be a very good resource, trust me, because you could put all those things on there and say, I want somebody that kind of fulfills, that has these abilities, capabilities. What's the org chart going to look like if, again, this is if you got a few people, okay? Desmond's, you're gonna have probably an assistant manager or something, and somebody that can be there, or shift manager when you're gone, something like that, right? So you're gonna have a little bit of an org chart. Seth's not gonna have an org chart, right? He's gonna be off by himself, and you're probably not gonna either, Maria, right? Okay. There you go. So the other part of the narrative of the management organization part is explaining the things then that are in the appendix, right? So yeah, your resume's in the back, but I really shouldn't have to go read the resume to get a sense of why you're qualified for this. Okay, so you need to pull from your resume a few important things and say, hey, I'm qualified for this because I'm getting my degree in business from MSU Northern. I've got 10 years experience, turning wrenches, that type of information, the type of stuff that's going to be important, right? So I can read it in a short paragraph as opposed to going back and reading your whole resume, which I still will, but I'm not going to, by the way, I'm not going to grade you on the quality of your resume. Okay, that doesn't mean that I think you should turn in crap. Okay, I will feel very free to criticize or critique your resume, but I won't grade you on. So if you get a resume back that's got all kinds of red crap all over it and pencil marks and whatever, don't be alarmed that affected your grade. It didn't, but it's just my kind of reminder that we should work hard on having a good resume. Yeah, Marie, question.
Where can we see the comments that you make on our assignments?
On written assignments and things that you've provided, like your financial narrative, I should have submitted it right in the Dropbox. And so you should be able to open that, and the comments then, you might have to click a deal up above that says show comments. But I can come around and show you maybe when we're done here. So everything that's in the back there, your tax return, why is that in there? Yeah, I'm just demonstrating that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, personal financial statement. When I'm a poor college student, I don't have anything, but this is a good opportunity, and whatever the case may be, right? So you'll go each document, be thinking about that, the lease. Okay, the lease, I think the example that I give you, or the template that I give you is 10 or 11 pages long, right? I don't want to read the 10 or 11 page lease. I just want to know kind of the basic terms of the lease, right? So you're going to put that in the narrative, so I don't have to go back and read the whole lease. I'll check and make sure it's there. Okay, so when you submit things for this one, okay, you could do one of two things. I noticed a few of you have been using PDF for things, and that's fine. And PDF probably allow you to either scan them or save them into that PDF format, and you could submit it as one doc then, where everything's included. That works pretty good. If not, you may be submitting a Word doc with your narrative, and you may be submitting scans or whatever. A lot of these you can fill out online and whatnot, like the lease. You can fill that in and just submit it like that. Some of these other ones, so I may end up having a narrative, try to label them, right? So I got the narrative, and then I may have 15 other documents that you've submitted, okay? And that's fine. I'll just kind of click on most of those and glance at them. Is about it. Other than the resume, I will take a look at your resumes probably and give you some critique on those, but about it. Questions about that? I've gone on longer, partly because we had other things that we had to discuss than I wanted to. But any questions? Questions about what's going to happen after the break? Okay, just communicate, please. I'll shut up.